It was more than enough time to decide a person's fate. In the mid-Edo period, there was a small village along the Boso coastline. The villagers made their living from fishing, living in close harmony with the sea. On the morning beach, the voices of men preparing for fishing echoed. They checked their boats, mended their nets. It was an ordinary morning, as always. The sea was calm, and the sky, according to records, showed no clouds. Then, the ground began to shake slowly. It was not a sudden, jarring quake, but a long, swaying motion, like being on a boat. The beams in the houses creaked, dishes rattled on the shelves, and dogs barked all at once. The shaking did not stop immediately. It reportedly continued for about 2 minutes.
Perhaps another earthquake.
Not unusual around here. The tremor seems weak.
The elders said. No one ran. This was the village's everyday life. At that time, the idea that a tsunami might follow an earthquake was hardly known in the village. What was feared were collapsed houses or fires. When the shaking stopped, they would return home. This was the judgment they had always relied on. No one pointed toward the mountains. Eventually, the shaking subsided, and the villagers returned inside. They straightened fallen tools, checked that their families were safe, and felt relieved. Yet, at this moment, there remained time that could have determined their fate. From the first tremor, there were roughly 10 minutes. Within that short window, a single action could have saved lives. To not look at the sea, to hesitate no more, and to head straight for the mountains.
Never had to run before. No need to make a fuss. We can wait and see, it's not too late.
These were the thoughts spoken aloud. The sea was clearly visible from the village, so people instinctively checked for any unusual signs. But the water remained deceptively calm. Offshore, the tide slowly receded. Rocks appeared, and the sandy beach widened.
I think the tide is going out.
A young fisherman reportedly murmured.
Just your imagination.
Others replied. At that moment, no one knew that a receding tide was a signal of danger. It wasn't that they lacked knowledge, they simply had no reason to act. The decision was postponed again, and the 10 minutes slipped by. When the 10 minutes had passed, the sea began to make a low, ominous sound. It was not wind nor thunder, but a deep, earth-shaking rumble. The villagers looked up, exchanging worried glances. The horizon offshore slightly bulged. It was not a wave yet, more like a dark band stretching across the water. It was approaching, but the sound was still indistinct. A sense of unease spread through their hearts.
What is that? A wave?
No, something's wrong.
No one had an answer. In the next moment, the water surged violently. The sound lagged behind, crashing into the village. A tsunami cannot be outrun once you see it. The dark water tore through the spaces between houses. The line between beach and village vanished in an instant. Finally, people tried to flee, but the ground beneath them was already unstable. Sand flowed, paths disappeared.
Head for the mountains. Take the children. Move quickly.
Shouts overlapped. Some ran, some fell, some froze. The village transformed in an instant. The tsunami did not come only once. After the water receded, the sea swelled again. The second wave was deeper, stronger. Houses floated, pillars snapped, boats smashed. People lost their bearings, not knowing where they were. Yet some survived. Those who had acted during the first tremor, who did not look back at the sea, but simply headed for higher ground. Not by someone else's order, but by trusting their own instincts.
This feels wrong. The shaking is long. Something's not right.
Those were the people who survived. They abandoned their lives, forsook their fishing tools and homes, and headed for higher ground. That decision alone separated life from death. The historical records do not explain why they survived. They only state, some fled to the mountains. No names, no numbers, only the loss. The scale of the disaster is unclear. Edo period records vary. Still, it is certain that many people and homes were lost. Some villages vanished entirely. What remains are officials' reports and temple records. There is no emotion, only numbers. How many lost? How many houses destroyed? No individual names. After the tide receded, the village was silent. Broken pillars lay on the beach, boats stranded on land. Survivors did not know where to begin. If only we had run. Why did we wait? If someone had warned us, these voices were never recorded. Eventually, the village was rebuilt. Life returned to the same place. This was the strength and the fragility of Edo society. Going to the mountains was rarely considered. Decades later, the same sea became rough again. Each time, people remembered. When the ground shakes, head for the mountains. Those words were passed orally, not written, not by science, not by theory. Only memory turned into words. That was disaster preparedness in Edo. Yet humans always hesitate.
This time is different. It never happened before.
Those thoughts persist even today. The first 10 minutes, a time when science could not intervene. What was needed was not permission nor instruction, but action, the decision to move. If you had been in that village, would you have run to the mountains immediately when the shaking stopped? Or would you have waited to see? There is no simple answer. But one thing is certain, 10 minutes is a short time. Yet in those 10 minutes, a lifetime can be lost. In the mid-Edo period, the small villages of Boso learned this lesson. The sea remains calm today, beautiful, sustaining life. That is why people trust it, thinking, it's safe today. But that assumption can steal the next 10 minutes. The tsunami may come again. It cannot be stopped. But whether to move is a choice. 10 minutes, to stand still or to run. That choice still lies before us. It takes more than 10 minutes for a person's fate to be decided. Along the Edo coastline, it was made clear. How we use that 10 minutes is entrusted to us, living here and now.